Nibiru may be much closer than we can even imagine. A strange vortex appeared at the sun's north pole, and the astronomers are saying this is the first time I've seen this. A massive filament of solar plasma broke away from the surface of the sun recently and has now formed a whirlwind of circular winds at the North Pole, reports space.com. Scientists have observed such a vortex for the first time, they claim. The sun is currently approaching the peak of its solar cycle, an 11-year process in which it reverses its magnetic poles. Although astronomers have known about the solar cycle for centuries, modern equipment now allows us to study the solar cycle up close, and many new phenomena have been observed lately. Usually, during the active phases of the solar cycle, one can observe a large number of sunspots, areas of the sun with intense magnetic fields. They can also be accompanied by solar flares, the emission of electromagnetic radiation from the sun. On the other hand, scientists have also observed coronal mass ejections, which eject plasma into space along with magnetic fields. However, recently, solar prominences appeared on our star, which are also known as filaments, depending on how they are observed from our Earth. And according to NASA's website, a solar prominence is a large, bright feature that extends outward from the sun's surface. It looks like a loop and is made of plasma. Space weather astrophysicist Tamitha Skov recently shared a short video clip of images taken by NASA's Solar Dynamic Observatory's SDO, showing one of those vortices breaking off. And Scott McIntosh, solar physicist and deputy director of National Center for Atmospheric Research in Boulder, Colorado, said that he has never seen a vortex like this, but notes that something strange usually happens at the sun's 55-degree latitude once every solar cycle. McIntosh described the northern prominence as a hedgerow in the solar plasma, and that actually appears in exactly the same place around the sun's polar corona every 11 years. And this suggests that either Scott McIntosh is 10 years old, that he is a prodigy and was appointed director at the National Center for Atmospheric Research in Boulder, Colorado at 9 years old, or that Nibiru began to pull matter from the sun, forming an accretion disk. The covalent bond. On February 4th, 2023, professional photographer John Martel decided to take some photos of the green comet, which are now very much in demand by publishers. As befits a normal photographer, John aimed his lenses at the sky but did not see a comet there. Meanwhile, ordinary people in Mexico are filming other strange atmospheric phenomena, like two suns. Since Nibiru was promised to all of us already at the end of 2012, that is, more than 10 years have passed since then, and the general public became despondent and began to look at Nibiru conspiracists as if they were urban madmen. However, after the recent earthquake in Turkey, many suddenly became worried again, as it's not clear to anyone what will happen next. So let's imagine that Nibiru came to us at a distance less than the lunar distance, about 100,000 kilometers or less. We would really see that huge upon us in the sky. If we proceed from the gravitational theory, then such a rapprochement should rip off not only our atmosphere but also the lithosphere off of the Earth. However, no one has tested these theories in practice. Moreover, modern theories of gravity are a religious dogma. No one really knows what makes an apple fall on the head of Isaac Newton. This may be the work of either, it may be some installations inside the Earth, and there may be theories. Therefore, since there are many theories, Nibiruologists turn to practice, to the study of such a phenomenon as a covalent bond. And according to the theory of covalent bonding, two approaching atoms form a common electron cloud, along which electrons begin to jump around two nuclei at once, and at the same time the nuclei do not seem to be destroyed. The heavier nucleus does not snatch protons from the lighter one, and the atoms do not shake. In the light of the experience with electrons, it can be assumed that the planets behave similarly when approaching each other. Instead of causing terrible earthquakes in each other, they simply form a common atmosphere for a while. And it's possible that the modern theory of gravity is still correct, but let's not forget that the Anunnaki are serious beings. They can somehow turn off their gravity, turning Nibiru with its moons into a spaceship, and since Nibiru at such a distance will be simply huge to occupy the entire sky, no one will see it. So far, all this is just a beautiful theory. But what if? We'll know for sure when the Anunnaki return on their gravity again, introducing us to the splitting of the atomic nucleus, but only this will be the nucleus on a planetary scale. Now, this is on Soul Ask. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.